Jack the Ripper, the terror of Whitechapel. London. The year is 1888. A city shrouded in fog, cloaked in darkness, and crawling with shadows. This is Whitechapel, a slum where poverty and crime walk hand in hand. It is a place where women wander the narrow alleys under flickering gas lamps, and where evil, true evil, prowls silently in the night. Within these damp streets, a name was born that would echo through history, whispered in fear: Jack the Ripper. Whitechapel was no stranger to hardship. Here, life was cheap, and death cheaper. The year had already been unkind. Disease, despair, and an endless cycle of struggle. The streets reeked of smoke and unwashed bodies. Men gathered in darkened taverns, whispering tales of misery. Women, unfortunate and abandoned, offered what little they had left in exchange for survival. But no one was prepared for what was coming, for him. It began in the small hours of August 31st. A body, Marianne Nichols, was found lying lifeless on a darkened street. Her throat slashed. Her body mutilated. The constable's lantern flickered across the wounds, revealing horrors too gruesome to recount. At first, the people of Whitechapel believed this to be another act of drunken violence, a grim but common occurrence. But something about this killing was different. It was precise, deliberate. And it would not be the last. Less than a week later, another woman, Annie Chapman, was found. The same wounds, the same cold, calculated mutilations. Panic spread like wildfire. Whitechapel's narrow alleys became even darker, its gas lamps dimmer. Women clutched their shawls tighter as they hurried home. The night, once their livelihood, became their death sentence. Jack. The newspapers were relentless. They gave him a name that struck terror into the hearts of London. Jack the Ripper. The letters began to arrive shortly after, written in red ink, mocking the police and the public alike. "Catch me if you can," he wrote. "I am the Ripper." The city held its breath. And Jack, he hunted. September 30th. Two women, Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddowes, fell victim on the same night. The streets were alive with chaos. The constable's boots pounded on cobblestones as they searched for a ghost that melted into darkness. Elizabeth was found first, her throat slashed, but her body left untouched, as though Jack had been interrupted. Then, not far away, Catherine was discovered, the full horror of his work unveiled, a face mutilated beyond recognition, a message etched in blood. London trembled, the whispers turned to screams. The police hunted him with desperation. Detectives interviewed every man, every woman, every shadow. Theories ran wild: a doctor, a butcher, a foreigner. They sketched his face in their imaginations, a monster with a surgeon's hand and the devil's soul. But Jack was always one step ahead. He was no man of flesh and bone. No, Jack was the fog, the darkness, the very fear that kept London awake at night. On November 9th, his spree reached its grim crescendo. Mary Jane Kelly, a young woman with hopes and dreams, was found in her room, her body unrecognizable. Jack had taken his time, leaving behind a scene so vile that even the bravest constables could not stomach it. And then he vanished. The killings stopped as suddenly as they began. No more bodies, no more letters. Whitechapel slowly exhaled, but the scars remained. The fear of Jack the Ripper still lurked in every shadow, whispered in every alley. Who was he? A madman? A genius? The devil himself? Some say he fled London. Others believe he died, his dark secret buried with him. But the truth is more terrifying still. Jack the Ripper may never have been a man at all, but something far worse, an idea. An idea that evil can be nameless, faceless, and eternal. An idea that even in the brightest cities, darkness will always find a way to creep in. And so, dear listeners, if you find yourself walking alone on a foggy night, with the street lamps flickering and the wind whispering through the trees, take care. For in the shadows of London, or perhaps your very own city, Jack the Ripper might still be waiting, watching, waiting for the next victim to step into the dark.